The night was cold, the kind of cold that makes the streets glisten under the dim city lights and sends shivers through every bone. Inside a small, quiet diner on the edge of town, a young woman named Emma wiped the last empty table, her hands trembling slightly from exhaustion. It had been a long day, 10 hours on her feet, barely enough tips to cover gas for the week, and a heart heavy with worries she never shared. She had grown used to the rhythm of this life: endless work, little sleep, and a constant struggle to keep the lights on in the tiny apartment she called home. But that night, something would happen that would change everything, something that would make the whole world stop and watch. Before we dive deeper into this life-changing night, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of good hearts being rewarded, please like this video, share it with your friends, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Moonlight Stories for more inspiring tales that touch the soul. Your support helps us keep sharing stories that matter. The clock ticked past midnight as Emma poured herself a cup of lukewarm coffee and leaned against the counter for just a moment of rest. Her manager had left early, leaving her alone in the quiet diner with only the hum of the refrigerator and the soft jazz from an old radio. She thought about her little brother sleeping back home, the rent due in 2 days, and the medical bills piling up from her mother's treatments. She worked hard, harder than anyone she knew, but sometimes life still felt like an uphill battle she could never win. Yet, no matter how heavy her burdens were, Emma carried them with grace, never letting the weight of her struggles harden her heart. She believed, somehow, that light still existed, even in her darkest nights. But that fragile sense of peace shattered when the door burst open with a loud crash. 2 men in black masks stormed in, their voices sharp and commanding. One pointed a gun toward the counter, his hand trembling with aggression. "Empty the register, now," he barked. Emma froze for a moment, her heart pounding like thunder in her chest. She had never seen a gun up close, and fear clawed at her throat, but in that split second, something within her stayed calm, calmer than she could ever explain. Maybe it was the thought of her brother waiting for her at home, maybe it was pure survival instinct, but Emma took a slow, deep breath and spoke gently. "Please, just, don't hurt anyone. Take what you need." Her voice was steady, her hands moving with careful grace as she opened the register. No screams, no sudden moves, no defiance, just calmness in the face of chaos. The men grabbed the cash and stormed out as quickly as they came, leaving behind shattered nerves and a heavy silence. Emma sank into the nearest chair, her body trembling now that the danger had passed. She didn't cry, she didn't scream, she just closed her eyes and whispered a prayer of gratitude that no one was hurt. What Emma didn't know was that someone had been watching. A man in an expensive black suit, sitting in the corner booth, unnoticed during the robbery. He had been there the whole time, silent, observing. His name was Adrian Cole, a billionaire investor known for building empires, a man who lived in a world far removed from Emma's reality. He came to this quiet diner to escape the noise of his high-profile life, seeking peace in the most ordinary of places. And tonight, he had witnessed something extraordinary. Adrian couldn't forget the look in Emma's eyes, not fear, but strength. Not anger, but grace. He saw a woman who carried the weight of the world on her shoulders and still chose kindness when life gave her every reason to break. When the police arrived and statements were taken, Adrian stayed silent about who he was. But as Emma returned to cleaning tables like nothing happened, he knew he couldn't just walk away. That kind of courage deserved more than silence. Over the next few days, Adrian couldn't stop thinking about Emma. He found out more about her, how she worked double shifts, cared for her sick mother, and raised her younger brother after their father left. She lived a life full of battles most people never saw. And yet, she smiled through it all. That humility, that quiet resilience, stirred something in him, a reminder of what truly matters in a world obsessed with wealth and status. Then, Adrian did something no one expected. A week later, Emma walked into the diner to find cameras, reporters, and strangers waiting. Confused and nervous, She froze when Adrian stepped forward and announced in front of everyone that he was giving her enough money to pay off all her family's debts, fund her brother's college education, and cover her mother's medical bills for life. But it didn't stop there. Adrian offered Emma something even more valuable, a chance to manage a foundation dedicated to helping families like hers, with a six-figure salary and full benefits. Tears streamed down Emma's face as she struggled to find words. She wasn't used to help. She wasn't used to miracles. And now, one was standing right in front of her. What made the story go viral wasn't just the money, it was the reason behind it. When reporters asked Adrian why he did it, his answer melted hearts across the globe. Because in a world full of panic, she chose peace. In a world full of selfishness, she chose grace. That kind of strength should never go unnoticed. Millions watched the video, and Emma's life was never the same. She went from surviving to thriving, from feeling invisible to becoming an inspiration to millions. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Moonlight Stories for more true and emotional tales. And before we end, I have a special request. Comment below what this story taught you about kindness, courage, or faith in humanity. Your words might inspire someone else who needs it.